get you some money, you're gonna feel different.
Straight up.
You might even, all that other advice I could have gave you, this the short version. You know, get you a couple dollars, man. You're gonna feel different.
Net hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know, I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
Yep, look like Banging with Smurf is on one. He telling tales. I've heard multiple accounts of 50 Cent, Suge Knight, even Eminem being there. Suge Knight pulling up to a video shoot. I think it was in the club. I've never heard nothing about 50 being in the ceiling. I'm just assuming that this is the encounter that Banging Smurf is referring to on this Camp Capone interview. So I have no clue, to be honest. With no further ado, we're going to see what Banging Smurf claims 50 Cent, Suge Knight had been up to.
Now, when they get a 50 Cent's first tape, or you know, Eminem gets it, how do you hear about Eminem having interest in 50 Cent?
Through the lawyer, through Theo. Remember here?
Theo Stoudemire. 50 been having that lawyer for a long time then, because that's who negotiated my deal. I can recall at one point when I was at 50 House and I ended up getting into a physical altercation. I fought on Lil Scrappy, Drop Cuz. Then right before that, I had a squabble with Busta Rhymes' bodyguard. But all this was before my deal was actually done. And I can remember after that some time being on the phone with Theo Stoudemire trying to motivate things to get done. And I'm like, damn, Theo, don't believe nothing you hear about me, man. I ain't no bad guy. I'm a good guy. He was like, Spider, the only time I ever seen you, you not the guy plumb out. I had no idea Theo Stoudemire was present in that room when I got that Scrappy. Shout out Lil Scrappy, though. I didn't realize back then we got the same birthday, January 19th. That shit was 20 years ago. I know I've told the story multiple times, but that's the nature of doing this type of thing. Interviews, having a past in hip-hop. You share encounters with other artists. My mama. No lies, though. All facts over feelings. We keep it at Google in the black box.
I had a relationship with Paul Rosenberg. That was like Eminem manager and shit. So you know, Theo let 50 know and shit, you heard? So from there, they was just communicating, negotiating deals and shit. But I want to give credit to Chris Lighty too, because I see a lot of people saying, oh, the reason why 50 don't diss Eminem because he was the only person that helped him. Ain't no black people wanted to help him. That's a lie, because the first person that helped 50 Cent was Chris Lighty, Violator Management. Remember, that was his management before Eminem. So that was—
Rest in peace to Chris Lighty. That was my nigga.
The first person that stepped up and to help 50 get in position, man. So when niggas said Eminem was the first, it was no black people that helped 50 out, that was bullshit, because we had Chris Lighty, rest in peace, Violator Management, you know, Missy Elliott on there, Busta Rhymes on there, Fat Joe, everybody on that label. That was one of the dopest labels to be management.
I find it interesting he said Fat Joe, because it was a time when I was approached by, I forget the name of the company, but it was Troy Carter's company. I forget what he used to call the name of his company back then. It was a management company similar to Violator, and he approached me to provide representation. And I hesitated because on his roster was Fat Joe. And it was Sanctuary Management, yeah. And I hesitated to accept this offer because Fat Joe being on the roster. And, you know, I was just coming in to a situation where 50 was all about loyalty. Niggas standing next to niggas he don't like is an issue. Game not loyal. Heavily focused on loyalty. So I was not anxious. Is inviting and enticing. Shout out to Crime. Shout out to my cousin, Low Key. But it's enticing and appealing as the invitation was. I didn't jump on it. Wanted to like feel 50 out. And by the time I doubled back, Brother Carter, he was offended that I didn't jump right on it, and he was no longer interested. But just to give you an idea of what I turned down, trying to be loyal to 50, based on the fact that Troy was representing Fat Joe. So I was shocked to hear him say Fat Joe was on the violator list. But he also had Ludacris. He did the campaign for Boost Mobile back in the day where Ludacris did one, Jeezy did one, Fat Joe did one, The Game did one. That was Troy Carter's campaign. I'm pretty sure I would have been very next in line. Not only that, he was managing Eve, and he let me know on our first introduction meeting that while Eve, at that time, she was that TV show she had was current. And as the manager, while she was filming, he was making 30 bands a week. This is the type of information that he shared with me. And then he faded off to be a figment of my memory. And then moved down in the future to get an update on him. He went on to not only be a co-founder in Uber, yes, the car driving Uber, but he also went on to find Lady Gaga and The Weeknd as artists after he sought after me. Whoa, so yeah, pretty shocked to see him say that Chris Lighty managed Fat Joe, but I guess both could be true. Fat Joe has had a very long career on my mama. And maybe there was not exclusivity to either situation.
Companies to be on, because he had all the plugs, and that's how we was going on the mixtape tours and mixtape run and all that. This is before M came involved. We on mixtape shows, we touring out, we selling everywhere, you heard? So shout out to Chris Lighty. So a lot of people be thinking they know the history or the business and they don't. Shout out to Chris Lighty, rest in peace. That was the first black person that stood up for us. Then M came along.
Did you go to Cali with 50 Cent to meet Eminem?
Yeah, but the first trip I didn't go, because that was him, M, and all that. They did their deal on the low. Just him went out there. Because when you're working with Dr. Dre, he don't really want people around him. But the first time he went, we ain't go. But all the other times we was there in the studio with him. But we did a lot of recording in Detroit, Eminem personal studio. That's where we did most of our recording. It wasn't with Dr. Dre or LA. It was really in Detroit. When we went to LA, that's when it's getting mastered and mixed and all that. Yeah.
So you weren't able to sit in on any of the sessions with Dr. Dre?
Nah, no way. Nobody.
I ain't met Dr. Dre to this day. One time, Young Buck was out here. We was at the Blue Room, North Hollywood. And he was on his way to go have a session with Dr. Dre. And I was following him. And halfway through him getting there, he called me and told me it wasn't cool. I couldn't go. He had Tick and Hair and some of his homies with him. I'm like, cuz, how they can go and I can't go? He was like, they not going in. That was the closest I got to meeting Dr. Dre. The other closest I got to meeting Dr. Dre was the day he got rushed at the awards. I was sitting like 1-2 tables from him, and I assumed that day I was finna get a chance to meet him, but then that bullshit happened. Oh, my mama.
But we was like, we in the lobby though. He bringing us In-N-Out burgers and shit, giving us bounce, giving us daps and shit. But when it's time to record, ain't nobody in there with him. That's how he worked. Yeah, nobody in there with him.
Damn. Yeah. Okay. Dre's strict, man. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. Dre is very strict. Hell yeah.
Now, at what point did Dre get involved? Was he involved from the beginning, or was it M and then Dre?
Yeah, it was really M. M had convinced Dr. Dre to go half with him on the project. So he convinced Dr. Dre, but Eminem had full control of getting the album done. Dr. Dre, when the album done now, he'll come fix up the beats, tweet what got to tweet, had the artist say whatever over, say what like this, or however he feel needs to be fit, you heard? So Eminem had the album damn near done, then Dre just come do the doctor, do the surgical work on it, you heard? That's why they call him doctor. He come do the surgical work, you heard? Yeah.
Okay, now from this time, I think the first song you guys dropped was Wanksta.
Yeah, we did that on the 8 Mile soundtrack. So that wasn't, that was on the 8 Mile soundtrack, yeah. So we was pushing out for Eminem, yeah.
Okay, Now, and then in the club,
Wankster tore the streets up. that Wankster was crazy, but you couldn't go nowhere in the ghetto, in suburbs, anywhere. Yeah, that Wankster was big.
but then in the club drops.
Yeah,
and I mean
that's the number one. That's the number one record.
I don't think it's been a record as big as In the Club as a single that get in the club like that, bro. Just for a rapper, I don't think the days ever come back, especially with the simple, slow flow. That shit is a rap. It'll never happen again. Oh my mama.
Till
this
this
thing
day,
right here
number one
is
record.
a monster.
yeah. Dr. Dre.
I mean, it's like you can't even walk outside without hearing this song.
Yeah, Dr. Dre, man. Shout out to the doctor, man. Yeah. That changed the whole movement forever. Like, that changed everything, man. That song right there. But that was a great experience just for me being there, because I was in the video, so just for being a part of that. We did that in LA and all that, so just being a part of that is legendary. That's something great to remember. It was a beautiful experience,
Oh, my mama, that's how I feel about the Window Shopper video.
Yeah, what was the vibe like? Take me through it, man. What was your thoughts?
The vibes was great. So see, when we landed in LA, like, I was uncomfortable already because we ain't really go out there like with all the goons or whatever. It was just like me, Banks, Yayo, 50 and his security or whatever. So when I got out there, I wound up calling my homies from Shadyville. These some other G-Unit guys we had connected with us, like my homie Ace, like, yo, bro, meet us out in LA, man. I feel uncomfortable out here. So he wound up flying out there and meet us and all that. But the vibe out there was cool once my touch now, you heard? So we vibe and we doing what we do, you heard? But the night of the shoot, Suge Knight wound up coming through as well, you heard? So it's kind of like, people getting nervous, scared, the staffs or whatever, because Suge Knight had a reputation out there. These staffs and these corporate people out there used to be scared of him and all that. So he wound up coming through and shit to check temperature. But we was on point and shit, you heard? But the vibes was nice, just the experience. To be around Dr. Dre, Eminem, seeing them work. I was happy for 50 because we put in so much work to get here. So just to see my boy smile again, you heard? Because he was going through a lot. So I was just happy to see the boy back on his grind and back on top, and he got powerhouses behind him, you heard? So that day for me, I was like in a daze, like, you daydreaming and shit, you thinking you dreaming like, damn, we really made it. We really these guys, like, we doing this.
Man, I know that feeling too. Oh, my mama.
So it's kind of like you was in a dream kind of vibe, you heard? Yeah, but it was a great experience, man. And then seeing Suge Knight pull up made it even more legendary, you heard? And just seeing scatter, like people scattering, running and getting scared.
Video, I'll call you back.
Yeah, Suge Knight had a reputation for pulling up on a lot of people at that time. For sure.
Yeah, he wanted to check 50 and them temperature. 50 never came out though. They had him in the ceiling and shit.
That's the statement in the title that we came to hear about. I'm gonna start Tasha K do it. The big news do it. I see Camp Capone do it. The title, whatever the title is about, if they have more than one subject, it's gonna be at the end. I get it. Okay, say less.
The ceiling. The cartoon niggas go up in the ceiling. They had that nigga in the ceiling, but that nigga ain't even come see Suge face to face, man. Big tough gangster. So
50 niggas didn't go out there and see
Suge
face to face?
No, man. I just told you 50 was in the ceiling, man. Literally.
What do you mean by the ceiling, bro? Make him break that down, Camp Capone, because I gotta understand. How do you be in the ceiling? And 50 a big old dude. I know y'all thinking about Suge being a big dude. 50 is not a little dude. Go look at him in photographs next to certain people and just see. He's not a little dude.
What do you mean by...
we in the big studio, so the production studio, the shit big. So they got steps going all the way up to the ceiling. This was in the ceiling sitting on the steps. So when I run in there, I'm looking like, yo, bro, what you doing up there? Like literally up in the ceiling, my nigga.
I know back then the idea of Suge was so big and dangerous. 50 probably thought that was the wisest thing, but he don't know he could have had a monumental moment or meeting just going out there to holler at Suge. He wasn't gonna trip. Suge just wanted a number, contact, and try to do some business. Oh, my mama. But I know the legend and the whole shit with Dr. Dre, it just seemed a lot deeper than that. Tupac was dead, Biggie was dead, 50 wasn't with it. The reason why he stopped moving like regular and he never ride in passenger seats of a car back then was because Biggie and Pac died in passenger seats. That's why he bulletproofed up and was ducked off. Oh, my mama.
I guess they had to keep him safe. But I thought the big tough guy would have came seen Suge eye to eye like we seen Suge eye to eye. So you know how it go.
Who was doing all the talking to Suge?
It wasn't no talking. New York don't talk. We like, what's popping? You know me. I'm like, yo, what's popping? What's going on?
Come on, Smurf. New York don't do no talking. What's popping? Then what? There had to be a response, or what? Then we seen New York Nears, Uncle Murder, Tony Yayo, Ja Rule on the plane doing nothing but talking, laughing, and giggling. Come on now, don't just make it seem like New York Near just pop off. Nears pop off, but Nears politic and chop it up to him. Keep it a Google, my Near. Oh, my mama.
So we all out there rowdy, but you know me, what's popping? What's up? He had some Mexicans with him. He took a pull of his cigar, dropped it on the floor, stepped on it, and rode out. They just left.
That was it.
Yeah,
okay.
So and I seen Suge shit, like Suge responded to this, but
so Suge didn't even ask where 50 at, where Dre at, where Eminem, he didn't ask none of that. That seemed kind of odd.
Suge was capping, talking about he slapped up and this and that. Nah, Suge, you ain't even make it inside the studio. He ain't even make it inside the studio. Suge came on the comp.
I've heard that, but I heard that 50 went and got like a Mac and Eminem came out. I've heard those kind of versions of the story. I never heard about nobody hiding in the ceiling. Oh, my mama.
Pound though you were, but you ain't making inside the studio to slap nobody or nothing like that. These be capping too, man. The realest, so you think be the realest be capping, sir. Facts.
Damn.
Yeah, but that was a great experience, man. All that was beautiful. Just being around Dr. Dre, legendary. Then Suge Knight popping up. Who the fuck would have thought of your day like that? That day was legendary, bro. So just to be a part of that, man, yeah, it's a beautiful experience. Oh, man.
You know what? When I first got around 50, he told me that Dr. Dre shared with him that when 50 told me that Dr. Dre told him that once, you know how they say Suge got Dre for $250 million? They say that at a certain point when they was contending over it, Jimmy Iovine just said, let him have it, let him go. I got you, gonna get you back right. And then 50 said that Jimmy Iovine took Dre to a meeting. I don't remember if the number was 8 or 12, but it's a number similar to those numbers of Jews, men that run the whole industry, whole music industry. No matter what label you sign to, one of these men, you know, at the top, a couple of people run all these companies. And he said they sat Dre down and promised him that Suge would never eat, never work in this business again. Oh, my mama. So I could imagine with 50 hearing all that and Suge coming, in his mind, this was a very, very, very big, serious moment.
Let me get you on camera. Where you from?
California.
Oh, for real, leave it on, serious though.
Watts, baby.
I know where you from though. Where you from?
Eastside PJ Watts.
I'm from Grace 2 Rock, nigga.
Right.
They call you, homie?
Big Slice.
Big Slice?
Yes.
All right, nigga, they call me Puto, cuz.
Right.
You wasn't that puzzle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.